Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Oklahoma is preparing to require teacher applicants from New York and California to take a Trump loyalty test. Yeah, fam. I guess you got to be a Republican to teach in Oklahoma these days. Check it out.
Another busy week of headlines for State Superintendent Ryan Walters. The latest, an announcement that he wants to make teachers pass an American values test written by a controversial conservative group in order to be allowed to teach here.
But some critics say the fact Walters announced that isn't the headline they take away from this. News 4's Spencer Humphrey is here with why. Spencer?
Yeah, this was another announcement from Ryan Walters that quickly got his vocal critics start proclaiming, here we go again. But with details on the idea still murky and questions about its legitimacy going unanswered, at least one Walters critic says seeing people devote energy and outrage to stuff like this is all he thinks Walters really wants.
Look, President Trump is the one fighting for fairness and keeping the rest of the country from becoming this woke dumpster fire that's in California.
State Superintendent Ryan Walters making another one of his frequent Fox News field trips this week.
The absurdity that Gavin Newsom is going to stand there and say, girls, sorry, you're going to compete with boys.
Working in all the standard buzzwords and talking points.
These woke ideologues, these Marxists.
In under 40 seconds.
That's why we announced today, if you're going to come from California to Oklahoma to teach, we're going to make sure you take a test and understand basic biology before we let you in a classroom.
In a press release this week, also complete with his usual woke agendas, leftist propaganda, and radical ideologies phrasing, Walters announced teachers from states having what he describes as progressive education policies will have to take an assessment to ensure they align with Oklahoma's commitment to fostering an America First education in order to be certified to teach in Oklahoma, saying it would test their knowledge of the U.S. Constitution, understanding of American exceptionalism, and grasp of fundamental biological differences between boys and girls. An effort, he says, to protect students from divisive ideologies and ensuring classrooms remain places of learning, not indoctrination. And guess who he's having help put it together?
And we partnered with PragerU on this.
PragerU, the conservative nonprofit famous for making politically charged videos it bills as history education content. We, of course, had some questions we wanted to ask Walters, like, did you award PragerU this partnership through the state's competitive bidding process? Do you have a contract with PragerU? And how much are you paying PragerU? Nobody at OSDE got back to us on those, nor did they answer us when we asked, can Walters cite a specific state statute he believes gives him the authority to require and enforce this idea? Of course, longtime Walters critic, State Representative Forrest Bennett, has plenty of problems with Walters' idea.
We want good educators to come to Oklahoma. We want to grow good educators here. And this doesn't help us at all.
But it's the lack of answers to what does Walters think gives him the legal power to do this that Bennett zeroes in on.
It's grift.
In the case of this latest idea, or with most of Walters' headline-grabbing announcements, Bennett believes Walters knows full well he doesn't have the legal authority to require any of it.
Let me stop right there, fam. And he's absolutely right. He does not have the legal authority to do that. But what he's doing is he's taking a play from Trump's playbook where you do it and you ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission. In fact, Trump never asked for forgiveness, but, it's a figure of speech, right? It's do something, you're not supposed to do it. You can't do it, but you do it anyway. And then when the backlash comes, you measure the backlash. If the backlash gets to be unbearable, then you fall back and maybe you apologize or you shift the blame or you try to, you try to deflect. If it seems like it'll hold up, then you stand strong and act tough. We got a recent case in point with Trump when he posted on yesterday the pictures of Obama and Barack Obama and Michelle Obama where he superimposed their heads on some monkeys, right? Those images stayed up, that video stayed on his failed Truth Social network for 12 hours before they took it down. They only took it down because a lot of Republican lawmakers were fussing at Trump about it, telling him to take it down. He needs to take it down, take it down, take it down. If it had just been the Democrats whining about it, it would probably still be up. But because it was the Republicans, then he took some type of he looked at it with a different lens, put it like that. And so he took it down. He gave it credence. He gave their complaints credence. So this is what this guy's doing. You can tell easily that this guy is a media whore. He's just trying to get his name in the papers and stuff. He got a bigger play he's going to try to run. I can guarantee you within the next year or so, he's going to make an announcement that he's running for Congress or some type of Senate seat or something like that. That's what he's doing. He's trying to get a whole bunch of attention. And this is actually, from a political standpoint, this is actually a brilliant move. Go get yourself one of those lower political positions where you'll stand out more, cause a bunch of corruption, not corruption, but disruption, chaos, create chaos. He knows that superintendents aren't doing things like this. They're not making these type of moves. They're not making these type of demands. So if he does that, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And it is, because this probably is the first superintendent outside of most of our own cities that we've ever heard of. You know, we don't know who's the superintendent is at this school or that school or that school outside of our own city, you know? So, but we know this guy's name because, you know, he's hustling. He's hustling.
Doing these things out of political motivation and not doing what's best for kids.
Bennett thinks it's all just about getting a reaction, getting Walters' name out there, getting you talking about him.
Like, he tipped off Fox News about this information before he let the people of Oklahoma know about it.
And Bennett says ultimately getting people and some headline writers to skip straight to proclaiming, look what he is doing, rather than first asking, is this even something he can do?
Because I think there are a lot of folks out there that take him at his word that he's trying to do what's best for Oklahoma, but the reality is that's not the case at all.
We also asked Walters' office if they could tell us if they believe Walters actually has legal authority to require such a test. How would he administer it? Would it be the job of the school districts who hire the teachers or some other body? Again, Walters nor anyone else at OSDE answered any of our questions.
The teachers are one thing. The students is a whole different thing. What about the students and the parents? So you're saying now that if your child wants to go to school in Oklahoma, then they have to adhere to Republican ideology, conservative ideology. Is that what they're saying? It sounds like what they're saying. You got to be a Trump supporter if you want to teach here. So do you have to be a Trump supporter? Obviously, you have to be a Trump supporter if you want to go to school there. Otherwise, you're going to probably get picked on. You're going to get taken advantage of. That is why it's important for parents to understand who they are allowing to teach their children. The Democrats, again, I would say, have horrible messaging. So they need to catch up with their messaging. These dudes, these Republican dudes, they are very good at messaging. They're very good at gaslighting. They are excellent at gaslighting. And the Democrats y'all got to catch up. Y'all got to catch up because they're smoking you on that front. But this is not going to really go anywhere. But Ryan is going to go somewhere because he is absolutely doing this. He's doing everything that he's doing out of political motivation. I want to show y'all something right quick. Some numbers. You know, did you know that Oklahoma, for all that talk, rates actually last in the country in education? The median ACT score is 49. Their reading test scores is 48. Dropout rate, 46. Median SAT score, 45. Math test scores, 44. Pupil teacher ratio, 39. They are damn near last in every category, in every significant metric. They are damn near last. Think about that, fam. And the fact that they're dealing with, the fact that they're trying to push this whole idea of if you're a teacher and you're coming from the East Coast or the West Coast, you're going to have to take a special test. They need to be trying to take anything they can get. And here's the thing. The truth of the matter is, ain't no damn teachers trying to leave New York or California to go to Oklahoma. It's just not happening. You can give for some of these teachers, you can try to give them $1 million. They wouldn't go to Oklahoma to teach. Because who wants to live in Oklahoma? Sorry, Oklahomans. You know, for those of you who watch the channel, not talking about y'all, but I'm talking about overall, your state, overall. I live in Texas, so we got some cities in Texas that ain't really Texas, as far as like the reputation that Texas has for being good old boys and, you know, a bunch of racists and da-da-da. We got them, don't get me wrong. We got racists. Racists are everywhere. We got racists right here in Houston. But all of that good old boy pushing people around, making bow down, look down when you talk, we don't do none of that around here. That don't work around here. That's why they got to go to the small towns in Texas to do that. You can't do that in Houston. Houston is an entire different world. Houston is an entire different world. It is not representative of rural Texas. This guy is a clown. He's only going to get so far with what he's trying to do. It's not going anywhere. Presently, as I said, Oklahoma ranks last in the nation for education. Think about that. And he got the nerve to make demands. He gonna try to make demands. The only demands that you should be making, he should be making, is to get top quality teachers to come in and turn that program around. And here's something else that I wanted to know, fam. What does the free market reforms have to do with public education? He mentioned free market reforms. What in the hell does free market reforms have to do with public education? Those poor kids don't stand a chance under his leadership. They don't stand a chance. Dude is way too concerned about wokeness and Gavin Newsom when he should be concerned about reading, math, science. Also, using PragerU for your curriculum will ensure that Oklahoma will never, ever rise out of the ashes of mediocrity. No more talk.